Hello, hello! My name is Evan Weeders. Welcome to the Survivor Week 6 Real Talk Recap. Jon Jon, how are you?
I am good, but can I at least, have one of your socks? Can I just have one? Do we want one of my socks, even though it has a hole in it?
Oh, maybe, but I think I prefer the jacket. Thank you very much.
All right, I'll take note of that.
So, what an episode last night. I guess we can start with them coming back from Tribal Council. What did you think of that, Jon Jon?
If you want, but maybe we can do, I guess, the beginning when, they get back from travel where, Jubini is really relieved and finally can relax.
Yes, no more stinging sensation because Napalm Natalie is gone. And
we'll finally have peace.
She must have been a nightmare to live with. So they are so happy that she's gone.
Yep, and they finally don't have to hear anything bossy or, don't have to see it running like a dictatorship camp.
Yes, and what did you think about and then I guess the next big thing is over at the David tribe.
Tiba?
The Elizabeth thing.
Oh, yeah. We can get to that, but let's start, I guess, by order with the Tiba tribe.
Yeah. Tiba, okay, what happened?
Tribe.
What happened there?
Well, we did get a segment of Christian, spearfishing and, I guess becoming more brochacho-y. Or, he's becoming more...
The spearfishing and the brochachos are hilarious. Like, I don't enjoy that type as much usually. I don't enjoy the whole hey bro things. But, Christian is adorable and the brochachos are hysterical. And the spearfishing was absolutely hysterical. And so him walking around in those flippers like a freaking penguin in Fiji was hysterical.
Mm-hmm. He's really, I never spearfish and hopefully I learn sometime, but it looks like it's a hard thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, is Christian impressing you more now since, we're heading to the merge, or, you're still worried about him?
Christian, I am delighted to say I totally underestimated because I thought he was going to be this, nerd that was kind of flying by the seat of his pants, didn't know anything about the game, one of those, I'm just here to have fun, I don't care. But he's really good at the strategy.
Yeah,
really good.
He's really what you want, and sometimes like a nerd. He's this character, and he's a gamer. So this is I love about Christian. There is a lot that you don't hate about Christian. He can be a little bit awkward, but he's so good though. He apparently I'm always thinking he's like me sometimes, I guess, almost, but not the nerdy robotics things.
Yeah. I can relate to, and his confessional, I think this was in the segment, forgive me if it wasn't. His confessional we got at Tiva about how he's never really fit in, he's always been awkward, and this is new, him being one of the guys, and the lifetime of self-improvement has worked, and you may laugh, but I can relate to that too because of some of the stuff I went through. Let's just say high school wasn't very fun, and leave it at that. And so that was really relatable for me, and so hopefully it was for other people too.
Yeah, I know. I really... high school, yes, was hard, but, he never had the chance to, be, on the other side of the, let's say, lunch table. So it was awesome for, Christian to feel a little something, he's like this jock, but he's, I guess, on sorry, honorary jock.
Yes. We need more honorary jocks at our
Yeah.
schools.
But let's keep talking about like Gabby. Oh my God, she.
Gabby is delightful. Gabby, might have been one of the quotes of the show. Hope is not a strategy. That was my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, right now Gabby is, it's too early right now to figure out what Gabby is. But I mean, all we see is Gabby, having a episode of crying. I don't know, like maybe 3 times now.
Yeah, is this the winner's edit, Jon Jon?
You mean the crying winner's edit?
Yes, is this the crying winner's edit? The first one in Survivor history.
I could see that, but I don't know. I mean, we've seen Survivor, a lot of people cry, but that's just for something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Dr. Allison, who we finally got to see in like forever, is, at least having a good chance to bond with Gabby more now, especially that Gabby wants to, get rid of Dan.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how Dr. Allison does post-merge, because she was pre-merge, basically the purple edit, the one we never saw but was there. And now they're showing her a lot more, and like in this episode, and this is the last episode before the merge. The merge is next week. And it seems like she's ready to shake things up and work with David's and go against her own, the Goliaths, and so.
Yeah, I mean, to him, I guess Dr. Allison, when I guess she saw moves being made, that it's time for her to play.
Yeah. And so, do you think Dan will go home with an idol in his pocket?
Maybe go home with 2.
With 2 idols in his pocket, like James.
But don't forget, Carl still has that nullifier.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Yes, I mean, this could spell doom for Dan at least.
Yes.
But, I mean, Dan, he has this episode, he had the uncomfortable edit, but so you really can't be comfortable these days in Survivor, because, you never know what's, being talked about.
Yeah, and that nullifier could be huge in how this thing finishes. Huge.
I know. Yeah, and really, it's really good. It's really good so far, because we have 3 idols and a nullifier. So, and I think as of right now, I think if I had gun to my head, who would go home with an idol between Dan and Davey, I would say Dan, because
Dan, because he's admittedly never watched the game. Hasn't watched that much of the game, and so he would be, I don't want to say dumb enough, but naive enough to fall for, oh, you're safe, you don't have to play your idol tonight, and then be blindsided.
I mean, we saw him with, he really made a bad decision of hiding the idol in his jacket.
Yes, out of there, and he didn't even hide the jacket. Okay, it'd be still a little silly, but one thing if you really, really hid your jacket and then pretend you lost it in the ocean or something like that. But he put a immunity idol, one that keeps you, if you play it, keeps you safe in this game for that tribal council that you play it at. He put that out in the open in a jacket where everybody knew he had it. I'm like, so now they can plan for him trying to use it, and either trick him into not using it or trick him into using it but not vote for him to force the idol out. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I'm serious.
I mean, yeah, seriously, come on, and I mean, yeah, these days people, these days you are allowed to go through people's stuff. You can't take the idol for yourself, but you can, look at it. So, and really, we saw that mostly these days in Survivor. I mean, the one I remember was the Tyler prediction back in season 30, or was a part where Tyler, everyone knows that Dan had the advantage on the auction, but they don't know what it is. So when Tyler had the chance, he was able to sneak in Dan's bag, look at the advantage, and it was the double bow. So, and really, now these days, you really gotta watch out for that.
Yeah, and so anybody who's watched any modern Survivor would know, don't put things with advantages in them out in the open unless it's well hidden in something. Like Dominic with the bag was genius, because he was like, oh yeah, you can go through my bag, I don't have anything. But what he done, Dominic from last season, what he done was cut a slit in the flap of his bag and put the immunity idol in the slit. So you could go through his bag and not find anything, as long as you didn't notice the little slit on the flap of the bag, which I thought was genius, because who's going to notice that if you don't tell anybody?
I mean, maybe these days, really, you can't hide it anymore in your pants, because, that people will suspect a bulge, and that bulge could be that idol. So that's really something, it should be learned now. And really, don't do like Rupert, I guess, with the put it in your pocket, think it's a rock. But
yeah.
But we don't want to talk about Rupert, because he's,
he's a legend. So we don't.
We're not into those casuals.
No. And so, what happened? What do you want to get into next, Jon Jon, if you're done talking about that?
Okay, let's go to Vuku.
Vuku, this challenge, they lost the kebabs, but they...
Yeah, but the top story is Elizabeth,
Yeah, Elizabeth and her back pain. She apparently had such bad back pain right before Survivor she could even walk. And my question is, does medical team know? Is this the first they're hearing of this? I
don't know, because this is the first time we heard it. And it was never, I don't think it was ever mentioned one time on First One Out.
Yeah, and do you think this is like a medical evac edit? Or is this just a character edit?
I don't know. I think it's just the edit of, Elizabeth looking so bad with, Buku, and especially Cara having, this chance of, surviving and not being a target.
Yeah, it's good news for Cara, because she was the first one to go if Buku lost. But now, with Elizabeth complaining about her back, and everybody being annoyed and trying to cut up the bamboo to make it more comfortable, and everybody being annoyed by that, then Elizabeth may have painted a bigger target on her back than Cara had on hers. So yeah, it's good news for Cara.
Yeah, the big question is, what is the best thing, for back pain? Because, I never slept on bamboo.
Yeah, and I doubt it's comfortable. But I don't know. What can you do? What can you do for back pain? When you're there? I don't know.
How's it go? Elizabeth says it's comfortable, I guess, for some reason, but I wish I knew.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we'll see how that affects Elizabeth's game. And,
it's really confusing. That was mostly, Elizabeth just, being so angry. Well, I guess she was angry, but I think the question is maybe taking it down and remodeling it. Is it best just to do it, half the work or the full? They be asked, is this a full-time, is this a full day work or a half day work? Because, I don't know.
Yeah, is it best to do that like in the morning? Like,
I mean, maybe the best time is when nobody is using that
yeah.
shelter.
But my thing is, I mean, I've never played Survivor and probably never will for reasons, but when is anybody not using the shelter? Because if one person's up or a couple people are up, there are undoubtedly people either resting or obviously at night everybody's sleeping. So,
I mean, yeah. I mean, everything we see in Survivor is people in shelter. So that's the thing that's really bothering me. It's like, I mean, yeah, I know you want to change it, but maybe you should have thought it out before you start building, because that way,
I mean, the best bet with this, in my opinion, is to go to the tribe. Don't call a tribe meeting like poor Jeremy did. But but go to the tribe in a very non-confrontational way and be like, hey, my back hurts, I want to make changes to the shelter. Have everybody agree on a time, and that's the time you do it. And like nobody's allowed in the shelter. Like that, in my opinion, is the best way to do it.
Or I think maybe the best thing is like maybe now also they can sleep probably in the sand, or down the beach, because really, I mean,
or sleep on the beach.
Yeah, I mean they weren't able to because of the storms, but I guess now so far, I mean, looking at this episode, we didn't even have any hint of another storm coming up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, maybe once the merchants, I mean, they might have to build a new shelter then.
Yeah, so maybe Elizabeth will get her lucky break with this new shelter.
Yeah, but this one wasn't a good thing for Elizabeth. So yeah, I mean, are we worried? Maybe 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50. Hopefully not, but 50-50 for Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm. So let's get to the immunity.
Immunity? What a freaking hard challenge that was.
For one try, but it was just, oh my god, it was really a blowout and a train wreck.
Yes, it was and we love Dravini, and I love the way, and I didn't do announcements at the beginning of this podcast, but the way Jeff commentated that challenge was absolutely positively brilliant, and shows why we need disability representation on Survivor, because if he's that good with a normal Survivor situation, like, can you imagine if we had representation on there? So please apply for Survivor if you're in the disability or caregiver community. Please, we need it. Okay, back to the challenge. It was a train wreck, and
yeah, I mean what you said about Jeff Probst, like he was really getting hard on Davini, but at the same time he's telling them they don't give up. This is they're doing it with blood, sweat, and tears, like all that inspirational stuff.
Yeah, and it reminded me a lot of some of the stuff that's been said to me over the years. So that really, really, really was brilliant, in my opinion. So, anyway, but it was a poor train wreck for poor Jabini.
But yeah, I mean, going into this tribal, when at the end, like before we got to break, I think we saw Mike saying, that one of us has to go, but I didn't think, we all thought, okay, it's probably going to be Mike. Did you thought that?
No, I didn't think it was going to be him. He's been pretty solid with Nick, and Nick, I thought Nick would be, he's been solid enough with Nick to where I wasn't worried about him, because Nick could have pulled strings, I think. But, I I didn't know who it was going to be, honestly, and it was, yeah, it was really great that I didn't know who it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, but oh my god. And then Lyrsa, really.
Lyrsa, poor Lyrsa.
Yeah, but we thought Angelina was going to be the one, but
Yeah, we
somehow,
thought Angelina was going to be the one. I thought, yeah, because the edit showed it between Lyrsa and Angelina, and I thought Mike was going to get tired of playing with Angelina because he doesn't really like her. And
well,
so,
there's some, potentials that, Angelina will flip.
what?
Yeah, I mean, this episode, it was mostly talk about Angelina, so being, selfish, like, she just
Yeah.
there's just in case so she can get the jacket. That way Natalie doesn't suspect a thing.
Yeah, so, which is, I don't know, how is that strategy for you, Jon Jon? How does
Or a
it
jacket.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I keep hearing survivors like saying, yeah, a jacket is something nice and useful because, you're out there and freezing, and by a jacket, I probably play better. That's what.
Yeah, and, yeah, I thought it was going to be Angelina, but it was Lyrsa, so...
I mean, we'll talk about, the pros and cons, but, I mean, Angelina, this was really, I'm just like, oh, this is a risky move to keep Angelina. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a 7-6 Goliath heading to the merge, but, what's the chance of, I'm sure you can get Mike out of the Goliath, but looks like there are going to be some other people flipping because I don't think it's going to be, this block or, this Goliath strong, alliance. So it's really going to be so risky. And I don't know, am I worried with Mike? Probably a little bit, but it is a high risk.
Yeah, and it's a high risk, too, because...
You have Angelina, who's...
Angelina could flip in a second.
She could find a way to convince, Especially next week, I think Christian's being targeted.
Yeah, and Angelina could flip in a dang minute, and Lyrsa was loyal. So sometimes loyalty is more important than numbers.
Especially you go into the merge where you'll have a good advantage on numbers when it comes to these things. So, it's not like the Street Fighter season where, two tribes are divided and the other one, and this one major tribe is the Swing Boats. So this is kind of, a risky move for the Rockstars.
Yeah, and it's risky to keep Angelina because, as we said, she could flip, but... I think Mike was wise in keeping Angelina because he didn't want to piss the Goliaths off because he'd already pissed the Goliaths off enough, like the overall Goliaths, not just the Goliaths from that tribe, enough by voting out Natalie and putting them down a number there. And so I think it was wise of him to see that a merge was coming and to save his game a little bit with the future Goliaths, but it still is a risk.
Especially, we talked about, like, we'll talk about these pros and cons, like, okay, what's the best thing of keeping Lyrsa? Those are moving like to Goliath, and probably to Nick and Mike, but I heard, like, I don't think Nick and Lyrsa were that close, and she was only close with Elizabeth, so, what I could see is Lyrsa just going back to Elizabeth and that whole, and I guess, I don't know who else who was with Elizabeth, and I don't think Davey was part of, Elizabeth, and so, those two could, be this wild card free agents.
Yeah. And Angelina could be a huge free agent. And so it's risky, and they're going to have to manage her, for lack of a better word, but I think it's a wise move. It's a wise risk. And
it's a wise risk, but we could see it hopefully pay out at the end. But I'm not skeptical at this point, but you never know. Like, I want to be proven wrong.
Hopefully hopefully it will make for an exciting post-merge. Let's just say that. This
An
post-merge,
exciting merge, yeah.
with this cast of characters, has... I don't like to call them characters, but we'll call them characters for now. Characters has the potential to be one of the best ever in Survivor. So, hopefully it will be good.
I know, like, I can't wait to see what happens this coming merge. I mean, I think, just like Mike says, like, this tribal is, what will set for the merge, or the future.
Yes, this is yeah. And he said it, this was the elimination that could ultimately decide not only the voted out person's game, obviously, but the rest of the people.
The winner, the fate of who can win.
The fate of the winner, good phrase, because of the numbers advantage. Simply because of the numbers advantage. So, going into the merge, because if they have that one extra vote to get their biggest enemy out, then that could be like one extra person willing to vote to get their biggest enemy out, and that enemy happens to be on the other team, and that person decides to stay loyal to their team, either David or Goliath, then that could make the difference between them getting voted out and the winner voting them out before the voted out person votes the winner out, if that makes any sense.
It's really 50-50 at this point. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah, and it's really up in the air, like anybody's game. Like, it wasn't... I mean, they're two of the most brilliant players in Survivor history, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like last season where it was a clear one-away to Dominic and Wendell. And once Chris got voted out, like, it was done. Like, you could not get the numbers to get either one of them out. Like, they always ended up a person short. Like, and Dominic and Wendell knew that they didn't have the numbers, so they didn't have to play any idols, nothing. So they had leverage and they had numbers, and it was just a lethal combination. And so...
everything, yeah, with them. It's like they have all the power and everything, and really, it sucked up the season. And this one, at least powers at least, divided.
Yeah, the powers at least divided the season, which I find more entertaining than last. I mean, they're all good, but it was last season, and I never say, oh, this season's horrible, this season's like bad. But it was so predictable. It was so predictable last season, and this season is really unpredictable, so I like that.
Yeah, I mean, the ending was really the reason it was able to, be something on Ghost Island. But, I mean, I have nothing else to talk about it, but I guess I'm just ready for the merge. How about you?
Yeah, I'm ready for the merge. Do you want to do the MVP? The 3, 2, 1, and the MVP of the pre-merge?
Let's do the 3 stars of the week first, and then the MVPs of the pre-merge.
Okay. My third star, I'll give it to the whole Jabini tribe. The Jabini tribe as a whole for not giving up on the challenge.
Alrighty. We can give you that one. My third star, I would say Dr. Allison.
Dr. Allison's good because she's looking like she's gonna flip and make waves, so that'll be entertaining to watch.
Yeah, and she was able to get Gabby, which is and I guess she was able to notice that Gabby is has this self-doubt, and that Gabby looks like he could use the advantage of Gabby because Gabby looked like he might lose Christian because of the bros.
Yeah, and poor Gabby on the outs with Christian, and it's sad for Gabby. But who's your second star, Jon Jon?
My second star. Let's see. Okay, how about I give it to Kara?
I'll give it to Kara as well for identifying the crack in the Orange Tribe.
And the Davids, yeah.
And the Davids, and being willing to exploit that had they lost. And I don't yeah, so being willing to exploit that as had they lost. So
Yeah, and
for game purposes. So
looks like Kara could be, she's the top target over Alex. So
yeah.
this could be a game changer for Kara's, game. So all right, so who's your number one?
My number one is probably Mike White, honestly.
Ooh, Mike White.
Because he made the courageous move. It was a risky move, but it was the right move in keeping Angelina and not pissing the rest of the Goliaths off more by putting them down another number and making it 6-6 going into the merge.
Okay, and I guess I'll put my number one is the second half of the roster, Nick.
Why?
Well, Nick, yes, I know he bowled with Mike, but it's at least something that says, to Nick, like, I'm with you. I mean, he didn't argue or anything, about, keeping Lyrsa. So, and since he has Mike, I'm sure he can have more people to align with.
Yeah, I'm sure Mike will find plenty of people to align with. So, who's the MVP of the pre-merge?
Natalie.
Yes, Napalm Natalie. We feel the stinging sensation of pride in our eyes because she is the MVP of the pre-merge. She was a blast to watch. She was fun to watch, but not fun to live with. Oh my god! And
I did not live with her.
no.
I mean, yeah, I still get props to those, her employees. How do you deal with this woman?
Yes.
But yeah, I guess we're good. I mean,
we're good. My quote of the show is Jeff and how he commentated for Jabini, and hope is not a strategy. Those are tied for the top. So, yeah, with that, I guess we're good. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Devin Weeders. Follow Jon Jon on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Jon Rules. And we will see you next week. Thank you for being patient as we had audio issues, but we're good now. So thank you for being patient. See you next week with no audio issues.
Hopefully. Bye.
Hopefully. Bye.
Alright, is that better?
Hold on a minute.
Hopefully I was working because I